Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Now, similar to my last few videos, I am still sick, so if you hear any sniffles, I do apologize for that. But today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 most fun characters to play in MK1. Now, for the title and thumbnail of this video, I don't actually know if funnest is a word. I feel like it isn't, but I looked it up and it just said it's an informal word, so I might have to change the title and thumbnail later on. But I'm also going to be talking about the cameos that I think work best with each character. Some characters I will just be showcasing one cameo with them. With some characters it'll be 2 or 3. Make sure to subscribe if you do enjoy this video. I'm going to be posting a lot of Mortal Kombat videos in the future to do with news, small little like gameplay type videos like this, and just a bunch more really. So consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date with those videos. But either way, let's take a look at who I believe to be the 10th most fun character in the game.
Noob Saibot.
For Noob Saibot, I think there's a decent amount of cameos that work quite well with him. I usually will use Serena. However, I also think that Sub-Zero is also quite good for setting up portals and things like that. Janet Cage is also quite a good option, I find, for like higher level players, because the execution can be difficult, but she is very fun with him. But for the case of this, we're going to go with Sub-Zero and Serena. Now, I'm just going to be showcasing combos for these characters. I'm going to talk about briefly why I think they're fun. I love his Ghost Ball type move here. Of course, it's more like Havoc-ified now. And yeah, I think his combos are just really swaggy, really cool. They look difficult, and there's definitely an execution barrier, but it's not all that difficult. He's the hardest of the Chaos Reign characters, but still, he is quite easy. Now, if you want to switch up to Sub-Zero, your damage is going to be lower. However, you get your portal setups in, and you have to rely less on the Ghost Ball now. You can still use it, of course, but then you get this little setup here with the portal, which makes the gameplay just feel a tiny bit different, and it just adds a little bit of variety to Noob Saibot. But just a very fast-paced character with, with setups, which is something I really enjoy, and definitely one of my favorite characters to play in this game. But he couldn't be lower, just because I think there's a lot of characters that have a bit more fun factor. But you can see his combos go pretty crazy.
Liu Kang.
So Liu Kang initially wasn't in this video, however I replayed him and he is quite fun. There's a few cameos here that I think work quite well with him. However, Tremor is the main one for me. Here's what I'm going to be showcasing mostly in this video, and it is simply because of the launcher that Tremor has. I think works quite well with Liu Kang's strings, puts them at a perfect position to then continue your combo. You can get a pretty easy 34-35% depending on the combo that you do, of course. I do want to apologize in this footage here. You might see me mess up some combos. I was just practicing different things here, but I think Liu Kang overall, just a fun character. Quiddy, he's I just said a word that doesn't exist. He is quite fast, pretty good projectiles. This move here for Tremor as well works quite well, just to finish off combos. However, I don't use it all that much. It can also be good to keep yourself safe, bit of pressure as well. Liu Kang's air game is also quite good. Now, Nitara is a second option that I use quite a bit, solely because it allows him to get a combo from his throw. Now, it can be kind of difficult to time here. You can see the projectiles that offers with Liu Kang, as well as this to deflect any projectiles if you use this team. Now, as I said, with his throw, you can actually combo it if you get the timing down. Like you can see here, the damage won't be all that good, but still pretty good.
Kitana.
Now, at launch, Kitana would not be on this list. However, they gave us some new moves with Chaos Reigns and a bit after that made her a bit more fun. Now, for this video, I'm going to be using Sub-Zero because that is her most fun cameo in my opinion. It just allows for longer combos, especially because, of course, with Sub-Zero's freeze attack, that means you can use her fan lift after that, which means you can, get some decently long combos. Yeah, the damage won't be too crazy or anything like that, but it's still quite solid for 1 bar and 1 cameo meter. As you can see on screen, you're getting pretty solid damage. Kitana's never really been a character that gets crazy high damage in my experience, unless I'm missing something here, but she's still a really fun character and definitely one I would say is worth using. Serena is also a good option if you want a bit more damage. Kitana's a bit of a slower character, but I think her attacks are quite useful. I feel like in the next sort of coming patches, she should get a new move or two though, just to add a little bit more to her gameplay. But for now, she's a slower character, but still quite a lot of fun, especially if you have the right cameo pairing.
Kuai Liang.
Scorpion was a character that I couldn't really decide where to go on this list, so I decided to put him roughly in the middle. He's very fun, but some days he's just less fun to me. I'm not sure why. I think Kano is his best pairing for me. Now this clip here, you're going to see me messing up a lot of combos here because while I play Scorpion a lot, I was just trying out new things to sort of test it out here for you. So as you can see, I feel like the best use of Kano's ability is his knife toss ability, and this is generally used right after the spear for me because it gets a little bit of extra damage that they can't get out of, and then you can continue your combo. You can even throw it mid combo as well to juggle them a bit more. However, in my experience, it usually doesn't really work unless you manage to get in Scorpion's demon dash move. Now Scorpion is quite a fast character. I think he can work with a lot of cameos, even someone like Sub-Zero. I feel like you can also use Janet Cage, Tremor, even Scorpion with Scorpion can actually work pretty well. But yeah, I think this is a pretty fun character.
Ashrah.
So you're going to see Serena quite a lot in this video. You already have. I feel like Serena is the default cameo almost. She works with basically any character. That's the cameo I use when I start learning a new character. And I think she works best with Ashrah out of any character in the game. In terms of like story wise, it makes a lot of sense, but obviously for this video we're talking gameplay wise. I feel like she just offers her quite a lot. I feel like Ashrah has pretty weak zoning aside from that move you just saw there. However, it doesn't go full screen unless you amplify. Serena offers a good amount of zoning, and Ashrah just has a lot of tools that make her a pretty strong character overall. She's also a character that has a lot of moves, like a lot of special moves I tend to forget that actually exist, but her combo damage is quite solid, especially when you pair her with Serena, but just a really fun character in my opinion.
Nitara.
If you'd asked me a few months ago, Nitara was probably my favorite character in the game. I think she has a lot of cameo pairings, but once again, I think her best is Serena. She can work alright with Scorpion too. However, for this video, we're just going to use Serena. You can see that the damage these two managed to pull off is pretty insane. I know I haven't been really describing why each character is one of my favorites because I've just been showing off combos. But for me, combos are the most fun and interesting part of these games. So being able to do a combo that is as long as the ones you can see on screen here is very satisfying and just quite fun to pull off. I think Serena offers Nitara quite a bit because their zoning isn't all that great, similar to Nitara. So I feel like she just offers her a lot more damage and just more interesting gameplay overall, which is definitely a good thing and definitely why I have Nitara where I have her on this list.
Conan.
The most fun DLC character that they have released. I think Sector is a really good pairing as well as Serena. Now we're going to start off with Sector. I think that the combos here aren't quite as satisfying, but they are still quite good and they still offer you quite a bit of damage. I've noticed Conan's damage is quite solid. He's a slower character, but you can get a lot of damage with him, especially with command grabs and his launcher here. You can use the Sector rocket to get a bit of damage here, which is quite cool. Switching over to Serena, once again the default sort of cameo in my eyes. She just offers him a little bit more damage and more satisfying combos. However, I've been trying to experiment a bit more with other cameos, hence why I showed Sector first. Still a really fun character in my opinion, really interesting to learn, and I would recommend these two cameos if you want to check out Conan.
Sub-Zero.
Now this may be biased because he's my most played character, but I do believe Sub-Zero is top 3 in this game. He can have so many cameo pairings and I'm going to show that in this video. Everyone I've just hovered over I think can work with Sub-Zero to some extent. However, we're going to start by taking a look at Sub-Zero and Janet Cage. This is more of a recent one, but I think that even this move here offers quite a lot, which when she jumps forward, even the backwards one, you can set up some crazy combos and get some crazy damage. But I think that this pairing here works quite well just to extend combos a little bit longer, gives you a little bit more combo damage of course as well. Just works really well. Once again, very satisfying combos to pull off, and I think Sub-Zero is a character that is really underrated in terms of how viable he can be. Sonya is sort of the default cameo for Sub-Zero in my eyes. I feel like she, once again, is just a one-hit attack, but it offers quite a lot. And finally, I think that Striker is crazy. If you want damage with Sub-Zero, go Striker. This one move here, you have to spend 2 cameo meter bars on it. However, look at the damage here. I believe I mess up the combo here, but still you can see the damage is nuts. Oh no, I did do it. Li Mei was almost first. I think that the best cameo pairings with her are Janet Cage and Scorpion. Scorpion is the main one that I tend to use. He's who I've used with her basically since launch almost. And as you can see, you can get some crazy ass combos here. Li Mei's a really underrated character. I think she's incredibly fun, and Scorpion is a cameo that can work with, I'd say, 85% of the roster if you put in the work. Then transitioning over to Janet Cage, I feel like the combos switch up a little bit more. You get her lantern move involved a little more here, but I still think she's a crazy fun character. Her reach isn't that great, so having good cameos with range and moves to extend combos definitely helps her out, and I definitely think she is at the very least top 5 in the game in terms of her fun factor. Now we've got to go over some honorable mentions because there's so many fun characters. We have General Shao. Then we have Reiko, who's also a really fun, fast-paced character that I like quite a bit. Then we have the T-1000, really fun guest character, and the exact same can be said for Ghostface. These two I really wanted to include in the video, but they're just not quite cracking my top 10. Then you have Cyrax, as well as Sector. The Chaos Reigns characters are really, really fun. And finally, for honorable mentions, we have Raiden.
Mileena.
The most fun character in MK1 is Mileena, in my opinion. Her best cameo pairing is Scorpion by a mile, in my opinion, because it allows her to extend combos. After this amplified bowl roll here, your combo is normally done, but if you have Scorpion, use the Fire Breath move for 1 cameo bar there, and you get some really good damage, usually like 45% upwards, depending on the strings you do leading up into it. It's a crazy combo, it's super fun, and Mileena just stands out, in my opinion, against the rest of the roster. She's a character who I think her zoning isn't great, but I think her combos have a lot of potential, and it varies between player to player what type of combo you want to do, and that's why I like her. She has a lot of variety, but I feel like her combos stick to a similar route. They're easy to learn once you put in a couple of hours into the character. She's really fun, and as a bonus, she has some of the coolest cosmetics as well, so it's still just really fun to play as her. And that's about it, everyone. That is my list of the top 10 most fun characters to play. Obviously, this was just my opinion, so if you disagree, that's okay. Let me know your top 10 or top 5 in the comment section down below. I'd really appreciate it. Consider subscribing. I'd also appreciate that a lot. And as always, I hope you have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.